my name is Enrico Berger. I'm the route director for the Absa Cape Epic, and I would like to share some info, some secrets, some points at this late stage with you regarding the route of the Absa Cape Epic. Basically, for the first time ever, we'll have the prologue and the first night at the same venue, being Lourensford, as you know by now. And the dynamics of the whole thing changes because for now you can stay afterwards and actually watch the pros, and we can have an awesome atmosphere at the, in Lourensford at the finish venue. The route itself for the prologue is slightly different from what we're used to for the last few years, being that there are much more single track. So basically what you want to do is make sure you position yourself as early as possible, and try and find your rhythm as early as possible and don't get blocked in the single tracks. Preparation at this stage, fitness, I mean, too late for that obviously, but we can work on some of those technical skills. So go and have a look at our website, go to all the various trailer parks that you can buy a permit, go and ride those trails as part of your final fine-tuning before you line up on the 20th of March this year. Stage 1 started Lourensford after a good night's rest, no travelling in the car the day before. It is basically around the mountain kind of stage. It's not that far for stage 1. Traditionally we tend to go closer, if not over 100. This is a bit shorter, but lots of steep climb. I mean, you basically start off with a climb that was the hotspot climb in 2019. You'll hit yourself around the, towards the Stellenbosch side of the mountain before you get most probably going to hit one of the climbs of the whole event. It's about a 2-3 kilometer climb. Surface, not great. It's not for your, you need a proper 4x4 to go up there, to put it that way, if not an aeroplane. It's about average 17 to 21%. It's a decent climb. Once you get back into Lourensford, there's enough time to relax on a nice contour road, enjoy the views. It's spectacular views from high up on the mountains in Lourensford estate. And then you'll start heading back and play, the play part of the day, heading back towards the finish line. Again, we've incorporated some of the old and original single tracks, rough, rocky stuff, but also some of the newer ones, which is more manicured and machine built. So yeah, that's basically stage 1 for you. Stage 2, we bring back a proper marathon stage for a change. I haven't had a stage in a while that was more than 150, 120 kilometers. This marathon stage, stage 2, transfer from Lourensford towards Ellersdorf in Greyton. And yeah, we start off with a small loop in Lourensford, heading towards Hunter Pass. Remember, Hunter Pass is a single file hiker bike. So try and position yourself, get yourself in a position that you don't feel blocked in before you get to Hunter Pass. After Hunter Pass, it's all play, A to Z trails, up all the nice trails on the foot end of Groenlandberg, through places like Polkluwer, Oak Valley, all the way down to Botrevier via the Beaumont River Trail, which is a new experience for all Absa Cape Epic riders. At the bottom of the river trail, you'll turn a left, and you should see that as your recovery of the day. It's about 12k on the Van der Stelp Pass, slightly drag up, but relax. Don't go too fast there because the climb of the day awaits after that district road. It's quite a steep 4-5k climb, very steep, loose surface, dual track climb. Until we get to the top of the ridge, heading towards the finish in Greyton with some great single tracks heading down to the racefields in Ellersdorf. Basically what we want to do, is, again, like I said, it's too late to work on your fitness. But although we say it's marathon stage, there are still quite a lot of single tracks, tight and twisty turns. Some of these things were built in the days of the 26er bikes. So go and train your switchback riding, and you shouldn't have a problem. Stage 3 is basically an anti-clockwise route around the best what Greyton has to offer. Again, another stage that will go over 100 kilometers, so we already broke the record by far from 2021. Greyton is obviously more rugged riding, it's more rocky, it's where you need to make sure you hydrate properly. It can become extremely warm, there's not a lot of shade. The single tracks are demanding, it's rough on your bikes. Have the right tyres, have the right kind of sealant in your tyres, and you shouldn't have a problem. There's no major climb or anything, but there's also no major long flats on the stage. So again, if you have time, head out to Greyton, get yourself a permit, go and ride some of these trails, support the local guest houses, and you'll be fine when come race day. Stage 4, we start Elandskloof, and that's basically a shorter, more condensed version of the previous day. We basically go clockwise within the day before, and that's where we bring in all the nice stuff, all the play stuff, all the what made Greyton famous in the past as a mountain-like destination. So here, it's nothing major drop-off wise, but switchback kind of riding is again, on the cards. And then one of the climbs and one of the experience of this year's Absa Cape Epic will obviously be Barkenskop. It's quite a long climb up. Again, the word switchbacks come up, but it's not tight switchbacks. It's fairly easy riding switchbacks. You need the stamina and the fitness. You need that kind of, to push through the corners kind of pedaling. But when you get to the top, to traverse from the one side and around Barkenskop, only thing I can put, if you're scared of heights, this might not be for you. It is, however, 100% hikeable, and if you're not confident, I would suggest get off the bike and just push, and just make sure you don't hold up a braver guy behind you and put his race in jeopardy going around there. There's not a lot of getting out of the way, unfortunately. Once you've done that, it's all fine riding back to Jan Viljoen's properties and all these older established single tracks back to Elandskloof. Stage 5. Another transition stage, another marathon stage, another one more than 110, 115 kilometers. But, we could have made it longer. We decided, let's start on the Rusty Gate climb. So you're basically going to stand on the start line and look straight up, and a little bit higher is where we're actually going to cross over on the first climb of the day. So warm up before. It's not the best idea in the world to warm up on a climb, as we all know. So I would suggest play around, slightly earlier breakfast, pack your stuff slightly earlier and go for a 5 or 10 minute ride around Elandskloof, and before you finally say goodbye and leave towards Stellenbosch. Once you're over Rusty Gate, it's fairly flat riding next to the Theewaterskloof Dam. Franschhoek Pass is most probably the longest climb of the whole Absa Cape Epic 2022 edition. But it's on a tar road, so it's easy to get a rhythm. It's fairly easy to ride up to climb. Get yourself in a nice little bunch, and if the bunch is too fast for you, obviously, like all know, wait for the next one. But I wouldn't suggest sitting all by yourself going up that pass. On the other way down, the pass will be closed. Make sure you stay on the left-hand side. There still might be a vehicle or whatever, and we do ride on the left-hand side. Don't cut the corners when you go down. I know it's fast, but we never know if a car's coming from the front. Through Franschhoek, watch out for traffic. We will basically have all the marshals and people in place, but it's still your safety, it's still your responsibility. We turn right in the town of Franschhoek, heading towards a nice trail next to the new Berg River Dam. Awesome trail. Nothing major climbs in that trail. It's just a fun trail to enjoy yourself. Enjoy the views over the dam. We get to Tweede Vierde, flat through there, all the way back towards Banhoek, and once we hit the Ellsworth Pass, we climb on a small little route next to the pass. So you're not allowed to ride on the pass. Keep that in mind. That is a possible disqualification to catch you on the proper Ellsworth Pass. After we get to the top of Barkenskop, it's basically the old parts of the old downhill, the UCI downhill when we had that in Stellenbosch. Use parts of that, and awesome switchbacks going down all the way to town and your last little bit. Don't forget, 2 k's from the finish, unfortunately the only way to get to Kutsenberg is a little bit of a surprise. So keep that in mind. Yeah, and basically stage 5 done, stage 6. Stage 6 is most probably closest to play day this year. The only problem is by then we might be tired. You know, so it's maybe a bit late, but it's still it's an awesome stage. You know, with as I put it, most probably the most single track per kilometer of all the stages. In order to get to those single tracks, however, it's a climb straight up Otmaskop. You know, to start off a 6, 7, 8k climb. Play all the nice stuff in Banhoek. We visit Idas Valley and all the new stuff that the Idas Valley community rangers have built for us. Really some awesome new trails. Heading back via some of the Jonkershoek farms into Jonkershoek, where we do, you know, trails like Armageddon, Red Phoenix, Boschleys, and a few more. Again, go and ride these trails. You still have enough time. Go and buy yourself a permit at the gate. Go and play in Jonkershoek in your area. You know, the last 2 weeks, like I said, not enough time to work on any fitness at this stage, but more than enough time to familiarize yourself with some of the trails. On your way back, we're obviously going to keep off the tar road, and we have a few surprises. And keep in mind, close to the finish, it is a bit of a surprise. So it's not all flat next to the river back to the finish. There will be a bit of a single track climb and some more play before you get to the finish in Kutsenberg. Stage 7, the day I think we've all been waiting for. It's one of those things, you know, it's glad that it's over and glad that it's done, but sad at the same time, because it's going to be, you know, it's an enjoyable 8 days. We're heading basically in the town of Stellenbosch. Take care when you go through the town. You can't win the stage there, you can only lose the stage, like the cliche says. There will be cars, because we basically go through town. We climb up through Idas Valley community to the Oudtshoorn Pass before we head through the dam area and on our way to the Simonsburg trails. Again, go and visit the Topia at Murati, go and ride some of these trails. We go around the mountain and it won't be the Absa Cape Epic if we don't have a little bit of a surprise towards the end. Keep that a little bit in reserve, because I would think roughly at about 45-50 k's is the last climb, and it's got a few ups and downs, you know, around Simonsburg before we will start heading down towards the Berg River. And for the first time, we're going to use some new trails to the finish. Nothing too technical, but it will be a great experience and a different way of approaching the finish at Veldevie. And well done once you get to Veldevie. For my side, I would say, you know, to summarize, go and enjoy yourself these last 2 weeks. If you in South Africa happen to be in Stellenbosch or in Somerset West or in Greyton area, go and ride these trails just to go and play, and go and work out what tyre pressures you need. Go and work out, you know, what kind of, how much food, how much water you're going to need. And remember, like I said, it's March, it's Greyton, it's going to be warm. Hydration and feeding is going to be really important in those days. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you all on the trails. Have a good one.